Howdy, guys.
How's it going?
Doing all right.
So, to this day, one of my absolute favorite roles of yours is that of Kurnosuke in Princess
Jellyfish. Yeah.
Who has he has so many layers when it comes to both his character and personality, and I'm just curious about what sort of mindset went into a role that had both, a complicated backstory, but dressed in the finest of fashions.
Well, Chris Bevins, he's also here this weekend. He directed the show, and he had he already had a very particular vision for what Kurnosuke needed to sound like and the attitude overall, just his character overall. And so he had me research Samantha from Sex and the City, and said this is kind of what I'm going for. This is kind of the overall attitude, and I got what he was going for, but I felt like it was missing the fashionista aspect of his character, so I just kind of threw in a little bit of Rarity from My Little Pony, and that's where the voice essentially came from. But overall, aside from the voice, playing the character, just where I was in my head when I was being Kurnosuke was more so about being always in love with himself. Always, well, not necessarily in love, but it's very obvious that he loves himself. He loves what he does. He is always passionate about it. And just living in this constant state of just being I'm fabulous and I know it and I'm awesome. And it was really invigorating. And it was also really cool to actually play a character that broke so many molds for anime. It was he was the first example of a positive transgender or cross-dresser character that I've ever seen in anime. He wasn't there to be the butt of a joke or to be made fun of. He was the role model to these girls, and that in itself was also very empowering. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. Very cool.
I'm CJ Mackers with ToonamiFaithful.com.
Hey, how's it going?
You're going to get a lot of Toonami related questions from me.
All right.
But my first one is more general. Toonami's been around now for 21 years. Mm-hmm. What goes through your mind knowing that your voice has been on it prominently with all kinds of shows? What goes through your head knowing that the block is still relevant, that it's still here and all that?
It was super cool to the bulk of my anime fandom started when I found Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball on there, and then I ended up through Toonami, I was introduced to Gundam Wing and Outlaw Star and Tenchi and all those. And that was my middle school through high school life, and I was super sad when it went away for a while, and then for it to come back and to be a part of one of the first big, Attack on Titan, one of the first big shows to be on there after almost over a decade, was surreal as hell. It was kind of like my fandom and my career kind of went full circle and just met in this really cool, happy place. And to this day, that role in particular and being on Toonami is really changed my career. It was the milestone that marked a new course in my career. And now I'm on Dragon Ball Super there as well, and a couple of other shows like Black Clover, and it just keeps happening. And every time the little kid in me is still is this freaking real? Am I actually on Toonami? That's cool, man.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yep. Another question.
Sorry, I thought you were. Sorry about that. So, The Devil is a Part-Timer is one of those anime that's got a premise that makes you wonder why no one in America has come up with it for you.
Right.
He his powers, he gets stranded in Earth.
Yeah.
Working at a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the process of portraying the devil as both a relatable person and also the supreme being of the underworld?
Right. Yet again, another Chris Bevins show. He gets the good ones. Well, who wouldn't want to be Satan, the Lord of Fries? I wasn't sure what to expect from the role. Just hearing the concept of the show, it was obviously this is a comedy, but it ended up being so much more than what I could have expected. I loved the fact that it ended up just being this very well-written sitcom about Satan living everyday life. And I think, not to get all spiritual or anything, but like just like from a Satanistic perspective, he's kind of viewed as being the embodiment of humanity and the soul of like everything that's everything that comes to us naturally. And I feel like I kept that in mind while I was playing him, that like he's kind of personified as being the extreme example of humanity. And the fact that he, even after losing his powers, losing his status and ruling over all, he really dug Earth. Like after just a few months of being there, he's like halfway through the first episode, all of a sudden he's wearing an I Heart Japan T-shirt and just lounging around in his boxers, and like he loves what he's doing. And I feel like that is the culmination of his character right there. Is
weight is lifted off the shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about this BS anymore. No, I can just be me. I could be a chill dude. But and obviously he still feels that call of power, but every time he gets his power, he always uses it to benefit those around him. And I know there's a lot of people that see it as a sacrilegious show, but for the most part, I just see it as this really beautiful, very well thought out sitcom with a very realistic look at just humanity in general.
Yeah, it's been one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, same here, dude. I wish that and Princess Jellyfish. I've been asking for years for season 2. I just don't think it's ever gonna happen. But the manga for both shows kept going. Princess Jellyfish manga just finished, and it's amazing. Who knows? Maybe this seems to be the season of reboots and sequels from 10 years ago. So like we'll who knows? Maybe we'll get some more. Mm-hmm.
I love that show too, so I'm glad you brought that up. That was a really good one. A show that was very popular with its first season, Attack on Titan. How excited were you when finally season 2 was finally announced,
finally released, all that stuff, finally!
And the fact how quickly it got on Toonami right then and there.
Yeah.
It must have been like a thrill for you and the cast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been biting our nails, been like, where the frick is this thing? And then, like, I get it. The studio that produces the anime has a skeleton crew of people. So, like, the moment they were done with the first season, they had a backlog of, 3 or 4 shows that they had to do before they could get to doing the second season. So I get the long wait. I just wish it hadn't been as long. It felt like the spark of it had kind of gone out at that point. But people were still super stoked for it. I don't read the manga because I saw the anime first. And I want to see the anime, so I was just sitting there for 3-4 years going like, what happens? And now finally, I'm so stoked that we don't have to wait as long for the third, and hopefully that gets on Toonami just as quick. I have a feeling it will at this point, but you never know. I'm hoping that we get to see. I hope it's more than just 13 episodes, yeah. and I hope that we really get to see a good chunk of the manga story. I know some stuff. I've had at this point now. I've had most of Armin's stuff spoiled for me,
oh, no.
So I know what's coming. But at the same time, I'm so excited for those scenes that I'm just like, okay, just animate it, so I can do it.
But it seems you're excited that Armin is coming back.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. He's my little divine coconut. Like, I love that boy. Just
now another big show. It's a show that I'm actually surprised that isn't on Toonami yet. My Hero Academia.
Yeah, when is that? Yeah, that needs to hit soon.
Yeah, so My Hero Academia. This show is legit its own Marvel universe. You could potentially do a spin-off on just about every single character in this anime.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for you is, if you were given the chance to offer your creative opinion, how would you like to see a show about Jet Black hero Tsukuyomi be presented?
Jet Black hero Tsukuyomi. Wait a second. I think. Oh, you're talking about Tokoyami.
Tokoyami, yeah.
Tokoyami Fumikage. You're talking about Bird Boy.
Get the two characters mixed up.
Maybe you're talking about my character, right? Yeah, the Birdman. Yeah.
Yes, the Birdman.
Yeah, yes, Fumi. Yeah, Tokoyami. How would I like to see a show just about him done?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be a very dark show. Yes, is obviously, and I'm not talking like dark as in like dramatic and really. I'm talking about it'll just literally be in the dark all the time, like no light ever. Like he will only go out at night. He will be the new Dark Knight. I don't know. I feel like we haven't had a chance to really get to know him as much yet. I mean, we know his powers. We know that he's. I mean, unless are you going off of like the manga as well, or because I know what happens this upcoming season with him.
Maybe a little bit here and there.
Okay.
I imagine if he's given his own chance to
Right.
shine in the spotlight, that technically would probably not be turned on.
Yeah, exactly right. Just like, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to see a show that's like, yeah, you get to see him like fighting crime and all that stuff, like doing the hero gig. But I would love to see a show that's also about like his origins, first coming to grips with taming Dark Shadow and figuring out like, okay, how is this relationship going to work? Like, how can I keep him under wraps and keep him from like going crazy or controlling me or destroying everything, and his struggle as a hero as he gets more and more powerful, of having to deal with Dark Shadow essentially becoming stronger than him. Like, I would really like to see something like that.
Like an internal conflict.
Yeah, his whole thing is internal. Like, his power is literally internal conflict. So, yeah, something that kind of focuses on that would be cool.
He was awesome in the sports festival art.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I loved when he got this spotlight. One more thing about Attack on Titan 2.
Yeah.
Did you and the main cast feel any sort of added pressure considering people have been waiting so long for it and how quickly it was being turned around to then not only just be streamed but to be on television?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the simul-dubbing process. Yeah, we've been, at that point, we'd been doing simul-dubbing on almost every property that Funimation got for 2 or 3 years at that point. So simul-dubbing, like, we had it down by that point. It's still stressful, especially, like, obviously the writers and the director and everybody else is in constant contact with Japan, and they've read all the manga and everything, so they know what to expect. For the most part, sometimes animes will add something a little different or might decide to change story in some way or change a character, and we will have no idea until it's too late. So we kind of just have to roll with the punches. And yeah, there is the added stress of the fact that this is a really popular title. People have been waiting for a while, and quite frankly, pretty much all of us involved are also fans of the show. So we want to make it as spot on as we can possibly make it, the best of our ability, and also hope that we can please most people. We know we're not going to please everybody, but that's always the pressure's always on at that point. But thankfully, the process of dubbing it, the simul-dubbing process, was not as hectic, at least for those of us that live in Dallas. For like Bryce and Lauren and Patrick Seitz and those guys that live out in Matthew Mercer, that all live out in L.A. Like, that's if they either flew out to Dallas, they couldn't very well do that every week. Bryce somehow managed to do it most of the time, but a lot other times they were all recording over Source Connect, and which brings a whole other level of complication and stress to the dubbing process. But they made it work, and it came out fantastic. I think now that we've done it for half a season, we'll be a little better prepared for however many episodes season 3's coming, bringing down the pipe. But the stress will still be there.
Yeah.
we'll still want to make it perfect.
Another show that I'm actually so surprised hasn't come on Toonami yet. Probably one of the most badass shows I've seen in the last couple of years, Drifters.
Yes! I want it. Apparently, we're getting the second season of it this year.
Really?
That's what apparently, it was announced like a month ago.
Okay. I did not hear about that.
I know, right? It's like I didn't hear about. Like, I always find out from news outlets. Like, they never tell us jack. But I'm pretty sure that was like I did whatever research I could, and I'm pretty sure it's official.
Okay.
But I'm not 100%.
Alright, but your character, Toyo Hisa.
Yes.
You got to show your voice acting chops while he's literally chopping people up.
Yeah.
So, how did you like combine his toughness and his surprisingly sharp-witted aspects of his character in your performance?
Yet another Chris Bevins show.
What isn't he around?
I don't know, man. Like, he gets me all the good ones. Toyo Hisa was challenging for me mostly just in the aspect that I lost my voice in the first 15 minutes of recording the first episode.
Wow.
So, like, because he just screams everything. Yeah, I get, like, you could call him a brute, but for the most part, I just see him as being, he's filled with pride, filled with bloodlust, but he does have a bit of a moral center. He does have that warrior way about him, but in a very die-hard way. Like, you know, it's... He's not going to help you unless you're willing to help yourself, type of thing. And I really enjoy the fact, like, that was the first time I've ever gotten to play like a balls to the wall warrior character before in my career. Never gotten to do that before. So getting to show that off and getting to just play around with that was really cool. But at the same time, the fact that he was not just this psycho murderer that was just, you know, running around just like, oh, I just want to cut heads off. That'd be great. Right. Can we do that now?
That's the other coach of Hirano.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The fact that he wasn't just that he also, you know, he's an honorable man and he's a prideful man, and is really just kind of, you know, going with the flow was really cool. And I didn't really... For me, like with all of my characters, I just kind of react as I go. I find the character as we're going. So I can't really tell I can't tell you if there was like an overall process involved. I react however comes natural to me. I act with the characters what feels natural. So really wasn't much thought going into it. I was just following my instincts and having fun.
So you did an excellent job.
Much appreciated.
Glad to know there wasn't any method acting with that one.
No, I wish. All right, okay, next intern. That take wasn't good. Sorry, man. Can we get another one in here? Like,
recent news is talking about Tokyo Ghoul Re.
Yeah.
Season and same day dubbing as the Japanese thing. I'm sure that's as hectic as the
yeah,
part.
A little bit.
Tokyo Ghoul was aired on Toonami.
Mm-hmm.
Came in a little later. And I'm curious how you feel about returning as Naki, how you feel the chances of it potentially coming onto the block, just because of earlier seasons.
Right. I mean, I'm always down for another show on Toonami. Excuse me. Always down for another show on Toonami. Naki, it would be fun to go back to him. We didn't really get to know him very much, other than he's obviously a broken individual, but he loves it. I don't think I'll be returning in a writing capacity, though I helped write the first 2 seasons. But that's probably not going to be the case this time. So if Naki comes back around, I'll be more than happy to step into his crazy shoes again and play him. But other than that, I mean, I know next to nothing about the story other than, I don't have time. Like, if I'm not in the booth or writing or streaming, I'm at one of these. So it's just like I don't have time to. I can't watch or read the stuff I want to read. Thankfully, the stuff I'm cast in is always tends to be really fun, so I get to enjoy that anyway. But yeah, I do know. I don't want to spoil anything for people who have not read the manga, but I do know at least what Kaneki is up to, or what he's been through, and how we're introduced to him for this return of the season. And I'm really interested to see how that plays out. But other than that, I know nothing, and I'm waiting to be surprised.
Last round of questions.
Okay. Yeah, you do your
So,
question.
next tradition we have is to always ask something that we call the 3-character island.
Okay.
Where if you're on an island, you have to pick 3 of your characters
Okay.
that you can survive with. Which 3 would you pick? And why?
Armin from Attack on Titan. Need those brains. How big is this island?
Lost Island.
What?
The Lost Island.
Okay. Toyohisa. And Komatsu from Toriko. Because, he will cook everything for us, Toyohisa will kill everything for us, Armin will come up with all the plans and stuff, and I will just chill.
I think you just came up with all the plans and stuff.
Yeah, right. Sweet, there we go. That's why they're in my head. They just live there.
I think that would survive for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm just like, let's just set up a camp. Let's just camp. It's fine. This is our new home.
Recently, Jason DeMarco came out and said they are thinking about reaching out to different types of genres of anime. Nothing for sure that's non-action-y, you might think.
Right.
But considering that there's a lot of other animes that are just as good that you mentioned that aren't exactly action-centric,
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's one that you think that maybe would be an interesting thing for Toonami to look at or something.
So, it's Toonami that's thinking about doing this.
They're thinking about switching, maybe going to like their own comedy, maybe
Yeah.
horror, something.
Oh my God. I mean, well, there's a plethora of comedies and just really good slice of life shows out there. I mean, we've mentioned most of them, and there's been Part-Timer, Princess Jellyfish, all of these could really reach a much wider audience. Honestly, I'm trying to think of stuff that has come out recently. Geez, dude. Well, with comedy, and especially with the anime fandom and the fact that it's late night, they can get away with showing so many fan servicey shows if they wanted to as well. I mean, hell, go hardcore. Bring in High School DxD. Bring in some of the the top the harem shows and stuff, or and No Game No Life would kill it on there, I think, and stuff like Yuri on Ice or anything you have that sports thing. You have we need more LGBT representation, especially on something like Toonami. Anime is one of those genres that even though Japan has their own views on the LGBTQ community, anime is very often their way of speaking out against the discrimination and everything, and calling for inclusiveness, and again, shows like Princess Jellyfish or Yuri on Ice, are very positive representations for that community, and it's so underrepresented in almost every other medium. But you could find anime and manga about homosexual relationships anywhere you go. But the animes are just never really brought over here for whatever reason. I know it's probably because it's a niche thing, but that is a community that is crying out for material, for representation, everything. And I think Toonami would be geniuses if they would bring shows like that on. There, I mean, you want to talk about if they marketed it right. You just tell any of those organizations, hey, we're about to the ACLU thing. Hey, we're going to start showing LGBT themed shows or just shows with something like that. I guarantee that their viewership would triple overnight. That would be amazing if they did something like that. But obviously, branching out from anything other than just action, that would be a good move. But anime is one of those rare medias that has something for everyone, and they literally have the pick of the litter at this point. So I hope that they experiment and try all sorts of different stuff.
Looks like they're going to.
I hope so.
Maybe a Friday night little setup.
Well, if they ever did that, I'm down.
Yeah.
Action on Saturday, and then you got comedy, slice of life stuff on.
Yeah, Friday, and then you get dark horror themed stuff or whatever on Sunday, or just whatever you got to do. They could triple their viewership, if not even more, but they could also it would just grow with all those different genres. It would explode even well beyond what it's been. That'd be cool.